Breaking news today. Everything is okay in Putinland, according to Putin's press conference, that hypothetical reality in which the head of state in Moscow is correct on every single point. The most recent year-end press conference of Russian President Vladimir Putin was conducted in mid-December, and this is how the influential and trustworthy BBC, British Broadcasting Corporation, Russia editor, Steve Rosenberg, summarized the event. Since 2001, when he first began doing so, Putin has held his annual press conference to wrap up the year. As a result of the overwhelming global outcry over Russia's invasion of Ukraine and its incredibly dismal military performance, the country took cover last year and did not have a conference. The president of Russia put on his customary masterful show, speaking for 4 hours straight. His extensive domain expertise, unwavering composure, and self-assurance were all on full display. At this conference, participants could ask questions either by dialing in from anywhere in Russia or by standing in the hall and speaking with reporters. The callers were courteous and respectful, but they did have some issues. Putin promised to do better and apologized to a woman who was worried about the fast increase in food prices. Remember at all times that this is a highly orchestrated public spectacle taking place in a highly controlled setting. Still, it's a huge improvement from Stalin's Soviet Union, which, from the 1920s through the 1950s, was characterized by shrill propaganda, horrific show trials, widespread persecution, and mass death. Putin showed courage in several areas, including the economy. A 3.5% increase characterizes this year's gross GDP. One of the most important things that happened around the turn of the century was that the economy didn't collapse completely. Oil and other energy sources continue to play a significant role in Russia's economy. Such reliance ensures structural fragility in the long run. Still, it's obvious that Moscow has found ways to evade UN restrictions on a variety of commodities. A strong and active worldwide black market is necessary to keep the economy stable on a fundamental level. With the exception of annoying inflation, the Russian people's innate resilience in the face of adversity and their unwavering loyalty to the existing order are further critical factors. Talking about a privatized economy implies Putin is on board with capitalism, even though he would never say it openly. We have left behind the command economy that was previously controlled by the state. In 1998, Russia's tireless attempts to establish a market-appropriate central bank and financial instruments were closely examined by the International Monetary Fund. According to that study, the skilled workers across the country were performing an outstanding job with that change. Putin assumed control soon after. His strengths are evident, and one of them was his quickness to use the new framework to stop and ultimately turn around an economy that was about to crash. This amazing development is overshadowed by the gangster-like brutality and corruption that permeate this industry. A history of deadly invasions is reflected in Russia's acute border worries. Keeping our support for Ukraine aside, we need to find a practical way to confirm border security. Putin is now stressing the need of bilateral conversations, which should be pursued with the participation of European and other nations. Policies should be guided by realism, which highlights the importance of nation-states and prioritizes national interests. The American market economy is becoming the norm around the globe and is one of the country's fundamental strengths. Putin discussed the potential release of writers Paul Whelan, a former U.S. Marine security expert, and Evan Gershkovich, a Wall Street Journal reporter. Many, including American authorities, deny that they are spies. Putin has shown an interest in having their release discussed. As we work to secure the release of these individuals, along with American educator Mark Fogel and others, we must raise awareness. Do what our brave soldiers do, don't leave anyone behind. For more information, see George F. Kennan's published works, including his 2-volume memoirs.